Sup flappers, so I have been getting questions on whether or not Zhongli is worth it, or should I get Zhongli or Childe, or should I get C1 Zhongli or Childe, just the usual who is better questions. So in this video, I'm going to go over how you should be proceeding to further optimize your account in patch 1.5. Now you may be wondering, well, Walrus, is Zhongli confirmed for patch 1.5 already? Why are we talking about this right now? Well, I'm verified with MiHoYo, so I can't be saying things that are not verified. But hey, the CN livestream is about to happen in a few hours, and I will be going live here on YouTube to do translations for it. So if you want to see it, make sure to subscribe so we can find out whether this is true or not. Anyways, Zhongli. For people who don't have him, it's difficult to get a feel for what people are raving about. Currently, you hear people say you can beat the game with everything, so just get what you want and have fun, right? Yes, people. Play who you enjoy, of course. But the thing about Genshin Impact units is that they all look fun to play. They all have interesting characteristics. They all are designed to target an audience. So there's something for everyone. And oftentimes you find yourself loving all of the upcoming units, but realistically you can only get one. However, in actuality, you end up getting a C3 Chi-Chi. But let's not talk about that. That's a whole different problem that we deal with here. So let's just say, if Zhongli is coming in the near future, what should you do? Currently, the Childe banner, while is not the worst, offers a unit whom will need you to pour resources into and to some heavy resource into, and can, in the right circumstances, take your team to the next level. Absolutely, Childe is more than capable of doing that. But for people watching, both old and new players, please understand that currently in Genshin Impact, DPS units are far easier to replace than support units. While the good supports are often universal or offers unparalleled skill sets, DPS just outputs damage, right? In essence, it's difficult to even compare the two, but when it comes to replaceability and benefits, securing a good support unit will be paramount to your account's stability and consistency to clearing future content. Currently, Genshin Impact isn't lacking in DPS. Amber can beat floor 12 with 9 stars. You don't really need more damage, and in fact, many people have enough damage. The problem is whether you can survive long enough to deal the damage. Around a week ago, I was challenged by my viewers on stream to clear Abyss 12 with 9 stars, although I have done so in the past, and I thought with my current units, I was outscaling the content. It was going to be easy. But after failing a few times, it quickly became apparent that I had the damage, but it was unrealistic to say I can dodge everything while pumping out damage to secure all 9 stars. Survivability became key to eventually completing the 9 stars. For people who are currently watching this video and do not have Zhongli, pick him up. He can send your team into the next tier just by himself with medium to even low resource investments into him. You will not regret picking him up over Childe, over Hu Tao, over Ganyu, or even Venti if you had to make that choice. Just having one copy of Zhongli can drastically change how you play the game of Genshin Impact. While having a similar effect as Venti, Zhongli offers a different way to play the game, and that's the power of an Archon, right? Ever since Zhongli's buffs, it's safe to say that Archons in Genshin Impact will be a tier above the rest when it comes to utility and power scaling. Also, to a certain extent, how difficult it will be to replace them. So now this leads us into the next question. What about for people who already have Zhongli at C0? Is C1 Zhongli worth it, or should you be picking up Childe or another unit, right? This is where things can get confusing for most people. Now, I personally have C2 Zhongli, and I realized this way back when he first came out, and that is having 2 pillars for him isn't that important. There is a hard cap on 3 geo structures, so if you run Zhongli with units like Geo MC, you do cap out fairly easily. Also, the thing is, having an extra pillar does not increase your damage by much at all, and due to its particle generation being random, it won't help you in energy regen as much as people would like to think. Ultimately, I regard Zhongli's Constellation 1 as a gatekeeper constellation to the real worthwhile one, which is C2. Now, this constellation is worth it. With Zhongli's buff, his Jade Shield has become one of, if not the most broken elemental skills in the game currently. I'd even go as far as it being more impactful than some characters' burst skills. And get this, it's so good that it takes some characters to get to Constellation 4 just to have access to a small portion of its effect. People, this skill is crazy efficient and is the main reason Zhongli went from underwhelming to being the best overall support in the game. I know I'm selling this really hard, and at this point people may even think I work for MiHoYo, but I feel I would be doing you all an injustice if I were to not emphasize why Zhongli is such a desirable unit compared to others. And I'm not just talking about the look. He is from head to toe completely husbando material, but we're talking about his functionality, his utility. Ultimately though, if you are not planning to go for Constellation 2, then just go for Childe if you like him and stay with C0 for Zhongli. It's more worthwhile to pick up a new unit to gain access to future potential combinations than it is to summon an extra pillar. But essentially doubling your Jade Shield uptime or getting Childe or a new unit, then this comes down to your gameplay and preference. Do you really need that extra shield uptime? Do you have uses for Childe, or are you just here collecting husbandos? With Zhongli's current kit and design, it's going to be difficult to power creep him, because how are you going to make him irrelevant? Add another unit who has 25% all resistance shred aura? What about the shield? So then a unit who has 25% all resistance shred aura while giving your team a shield? That just sounds absurd. It would literally be a copy and paste of Zhongli. MiHoYo has proved that they do not like repetition and much prefer individuality, which is why we have such a diverse cast of characters to choose from, even from the same element, right? You don't have two units who kind of shares a lot of similar traits. Now compare this to units like Childe. I mean, there is a unit like Xingqiu who already in some cases outperforms Childe. My point here is, if a unit's job in Genshin Impact is to deal damage, then that unit likely will have many more replacements who can do the same thing. Don't get baited by big numbers and flashy gameplay, because that seems to be MiHoYo's formula to success right now. You will have Zhongli in many more teams than you will have certain DPS units. So if we are strictly talking money's worth, it's going to be Zhongli. And I think at this point I have said enough for this comparison. Let's watch the live stream later and then revisit details, okay? Thank you all for watching this video. Remember to subscribe and tune into the CN translation live stream happening just a few hours from now here on my channel. I will be here as your host to break down everything you need to know about patch 1.5. So I'll see you all in a bit. Until then, stay safe and peace.